All right, let's jump right in. We are on the battlefield at Philippi, and we're about to dive into one of the most nail-biting scenes in all of Shakespeare. This is it, the final showdown, the last time these men will speak before a battle that is going to decide the entire fate of Rome.
So we're going to be breaking this scene down, looking right at the text itself. We're talking raw human drama here. You've got four of the most powerful men in the world, Antony, Octavius, Brutus, and Cassius, and they are about to meet face-to-face for the very last time. Okay, let's get into it.
Here's how we're going to walk through it. We'll start on the field at Philippi, then get into the nasty war of words. After that, we'll see the vow that seals their fate, a seriously dark omen, and finally, a heart-wrenching farewell between two old friends.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're on the plains of Philippi. Two enormous armies are staring each other down, ready for a history-making battle. But before they even clash with their enemies, we get a little hint that things aren't exactly perfect in Antony and Octavius's camp.
Right out of the gate, we get an immediate power struggle. Anthony, the experienced general, he gives a direct order. But Octavius, Caesar's young and ambitious heir, just flat out says no. He's going to do it his own way. Now, this isn't just a simple disagreement over tactics. This is the first real crack in their alliance. It's a little preview of the conflict that's going to consume them later, even as they're supposed to be united.
So with that tension already simmering on their own side, the leaders ride out to meet their enemies. Before a single sword is drawn, they hold a parley. But make no mistake, this isn't a peace negotiation. This is a verbal battlefield, and the wounds are about to get just as deep as any sword could make them.
Brutus is the one who kicks things off. You can almost hear him trying to keep things civil, right? It's got this weary, formal tone, like he's trying to pretend they're all still noble Romans, just discussing business. Yeah, that facade is about to get completely shattered.
And there it is. Antony wastes zero time. He cuts right to the heart of it, accusing Brutus of being the ultimate hypocrite. It's brilliant, really. He throws Brutus's own words right back in his face, reminding everyone there how personal and how brutal Caesar's murder really was. So much for a civil chat.
Cassius jumps in to defend Brutus, and he fires back with this really elegant insult. He's basically saying Antony is such a smooth talker, his sweet words are stolen. It's a sharp jab, painting Antony as all style and no substance, a performer whose words are just empty.
And that's it. That's Antony's breaking point. All the clever insults, the wordplay, it just stops. One explosive word, villains. He is done talking. All of his rage and his grief for Caesar just boils over in that single word. And believe me, the floodgates are about to open.
After that outburst, Antony just unleashes. He goes on this furious tirade, and he paints this incredibly ugly, demeaning picture of the conspirators. He doesn't see them as heroes. No, he sees them as animals, fawning dogs and grinning apes who smiled to Caesar's face while they were hiding daggers. He is just stripping them of every last shred of honor they might have had.
And right here, Cassius delivers what has to be one of the most bitter I told you so moments in all of literature. He turns to Brutus and lays it out. He's reminding him and everybody else that he wanted to kill Antony right along with Caesar. It's this moment filled with regret and resentment, and it just exposes the biggest mistake they made.
The war of words is ended. Now the threats become promises. This is the moment, right here, where any chance of a different outcome just vanishes. This is the point of no return.
So while Antony's been waging this verbal war, young Octavius decides he's had enough talk. He takes a much more direct approach. He just cuts through all the arguing and draws his sword. It's a powerful, symbolic moment. The time for talking is over. It's time for steel. And with that sword in his hand, Octavius makes this incredibly solemn vow. This isn't just a threat he's tossing out. It's a sacred oath. He's binding himself to vengeance. The only way that sword is going back in its sheath is if Caesar's death is paid for, or if he's killed himself. There is no other option.
The battle lines are drawn, in both words and steel. But after all that public bravado, the scene shifts and we get a private moment of doubt. We see Cassius, the man who's always been the pragmatist, reveal this deep, superstitious fear that's completely taken him over.
Now, to really get why this is such a big deal, you gotta know that Cassius was an Epicurean. That was a philosophy that basically said the gods don't get involved in human lives. Omens, signs, prophecies, they thought all of that was total nonsense. Cassius has lived his entire life by this rational code. Well, until today.
So, on the march to Philippi, Cassius saw what he took as a good omen.
2 mighty eagles, symbols of Roman power, feeding right from his soldiers' hands, a sign of strength. But this morning, his birthday of all days, the eagles are gone, and in their place, ravens, crows, and kites, birds that feed on the dead. The man who never believed in signs is now totally convinced that he's looking up at his own army's death sentence.
And this brings us to the real emotional core of the scene. Brutus and Cassius, knowing that this battle could very well be their last, they turn to each other for what might be their final goodbye. Seriously, just think about that for a second. You're facing almost certain death. What do you say to the person who's been with you through all of it? Shakespeare gives us an absolute masterclass in quiet, powerful emotion.
Cassius asks Brutus what he'll do if they lose. And Brutus, the guy who follows a philosophy that's against suicide, does a complete 180. He says there's no way, absolutely no way, he would ever let himself be captured and paraded through Roman chains. He'd rather die by his own hand than face that kind of humiliation. And then we get the goodbye. And it is so simple, so direct, and it hits so hard. There's no big, dramatic speech. It's just a quiet acknowledgement of their fate. If we see each other again, we'll smile. If not, well, at least we said our goodbyes. It's just this beautiful, stoic acceptance of whatever's coming. And they embrace. You have these two men who have argued, who have both made huge mistakes, but in this final moment, they are brothers in arms, facing their destiny together. It's this quiet moment of friendship, and it's such a stark contrast to the loud, angry showdown we just saw. We end with this final line from Brutus, and it's a thought that just hangs over the entire play. Nobody knows the future. All you can do is face the day and wait to see how it ends. It's a profound, heavy conclusion, and it leaves us with that ultimate question. Is our fate decided for us, or do we make it for ourselves? Well, on the fields of Philippi, the answer is about to be written in blood.